Yo, what is going on, guys? This is the Chapel Trader, and this is just a quick recap of a trade I took yesterday. At the time of this recording, this is on Wednesday, but I'm probably going to post it tomorrow, which is today. And this is how I made a little over $300 in about 60 seconds on this futures trade. So I'm just going to go over that right now. So for this analysis and trade, I just started my daily overview on the 1 hour, and as you can see, there is not a lot to really talk about. There isn't a lot of fair value gaps. There's not a lot of PD arrays that we can really do anything meaningful from, at least on the 1 hour. And because I'm more so an intraday trader, I do my top-down analysis on the Sunday before the market actually opens, so I don't have to do it throughout the week. So as of right now, what I'm interested in is seeing if anything appears on the lower time frames that can target this draw on liquidity here, or any of the targets that are higher on this side. And as of right now, market is kind of in a range, so we don't really know what it wants to do or where it wants to go. So I just dropped down to the 15-minute, and as you can see, there is basically just straight consolidation, and then we begin to see a little bit of downwards movement that begins at around 7:15. So we have a swing high here, a swing low here, a swing high, and then we have what seems to be forming some type of swing low right here. So at this point, because we are creating some downwards pressure, I am interested in price taking out this primary target down here or this target right here. And at this point, what time is it at this point in time? This is at 9:45. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this in a previous video, but I typically do not take trades before 10 a.m. And you will see my very good reasoning for that momentarily. So I drop down to the 5-minute, and let's run the chart and see what happens. Okay, so we start seeing huge, let's go back a bar. We start seeing a large displacement candle downwards. So as soon as I see this, I'm like, okay, well, we just drew out our draw on liquidity on the 1 hour time frame, and it's pretty safe to assume that price is going to want to target this point of liquidity down here. So if we drop back down to the 5-minute time frame, let's see what happens here. Let us play it again. All right, let's drop down to the 1 minute. So as you can see, there are not a lot, but there are a few key fair value gaps that do form. There is one that formed up here, and there's one that formed right here in this box that you see. Me personally, I'm not interested in this fair value gap that was never filled up here, because if price is to retrace all the way back into this fair value gap, there is a strong chance that it's going to continue upwards. And I'm interested in catching the move of the day. So for that reason, I'm interested in catching this fair value gap right here. Let me run the chart so you can see what happens. Yeah, so we can see the 3 candle formation appear right here. And as soon as I see this, I'm thinking, okay, I can either target this draw on liquidity right here, or I can target a simple one-to-one trade, and I did end up targeting the simple one-to-one trade, and here's why. The first reason is because this market began crashing down almost unrelentingly, unexpectedly. You know, I did not see any retrace. I did not see anything like this. I didn't really see any clean patterns being formed as I'm drawing out with this tool. Instead, it just crashed down with no type of retrace, no type of clean downward trend. Instead, it just kind of crashed down like a waterfall. And as a result, my mindset is, okay, because there was no clean downtrend to that target, I think it's kind of risky to target the entire draw on liquidity. Now, it actually did end up hitting the draw, which you guys will see momentarily. But what I decided to do was to take the simple one-to-one trade, and this is what yielded me just over $300 today in the market. So let us run that, and then we can talk about my entry. So we see it taps us into the trade right here, and then that's when I enter. And as you can see, that hit take profit in just about 60 seconds. As you can see, we entered at 10:58, and then we hit take profit at 10:59. Now, as you can see, it did hit this draw on liquidity. As you can see, it hit profit right there. I think it touched the draw on liquidity right there. But we can run it for a few more moments to see what happens. Yeah, so that clearly smashes through the draw on liquidity. So what does this mean? This means my overall direction was correct. I did suspect that price was going to go to that target. I just wasn't too sure about the delivery of price at this point in time. I would probably have targeted this area and gotten a 3.8 if what's happening here, where we see, okay, let's just begin at this high, low, and we see a retrace, low, retrace, low. That's typically what I look for when I want to target those longer risk to rewards. But because I wasn't so sure, because as you guys can see from basically, let's call it 10:42 onwards, it crashed straight down. It didn't give me any type of retrace. That is why I targeted the 1-to-1 risk to reward as opposed to the 3.8. But regardless, I did win the trade, and at the end of the day, that is the point in these markets, to take your money and get out, and that is what I did. And yeah, this is essentially the trade that I took on Wednesday. And yeah, this was a pretty textbook trade, pretty simple trade. In hindsight, actually, I'm not very mad at that risk to reward, simply because I know and I trusted my edge and I trusted my setup. And if I know that it's a bit riskier to target deeper draws when the market does not create those retracements, you can't be mad at that. So I took my 1-to-1 and called it a day. This is my second trade for the week. I had lost a trade yesterday and I won a trade today, so I'm green on the week so far. And I only trade twice per week, so that causes me to be green on the week. So yeah, this is the trade I took. I got $315 from this trade, and this actually ended up being the trade that makes me now eligible for payout on my my funded futures prop firm account. So very grateful to God for that, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.